Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are well today. I am attempting to also go live on Instagram. This is a new thing. So I have like all kinds of windows opened up and on my computer. It's a little bit on the crazy side today, but it's fine. I started this coloring page last week when we began our color along with the Tiny Cats book by Coco Wyo. Let me grab that for you so you can see what it looks like. Here is the Tiny Cats book, and do accept my apologies. I am trying to go live in 3 places, and I'm happy you're here. We are coloring in The Tiny Cats by Coco Wyo, and I'm very excited. We chose to do this page last week, and now I need your help today. I need help deciding what color. Hi, Harold. Long time no see. I just decided to go live on here for fun. We're going to finish or work on coloring this. We're doing a color along, and it is going to go on until at least the 1st of May, but we will extend that if necessary. I'm kind of going live every other day, and this is my first time live on Instagram, so I'm happy to see you all here. I'm also going live on Facebook and YouTube. So if anything's weird, do accept my apologies. I'm new to this. Hi, Amy. Amy's over on YouTube, and I think you guys won't be able to see each other's comments, but I will do my best to say them out loud. Okay, so I've been, honestly, the idea of coloring this has kind of overwhelmed my brain because I cannot, for the goodness gracious life of me, figure out what color to make the frostings. I don't know why it's so hard for me right now, but literally I have no idea. I really don't. It's so I want to get that done today really badly. Someone suggested blues, creams, as in like, creamy color. When we colored this last time, I decided this was red velvet cake, and then somehow I decided this was a pistachio cake. Those of you over on Instagram, do let me know how this is coming through. This is my first time going live on Instagram. I'm using StreamYard, and I had to do some special things. And yeah, so. And I think we can't see everything going on Instagram, but I will try to talk along about what I'm doing. So usually when I don't know what to color something, I will go ahead and look online and try to gain some inspiration. I'm actually tempted to do this a light green. Like not aqua, but like something along these lines. And I forgot to say that I am using Prismacolors today. Obviously, that is not something that you have to do if you're not a Prismacolor person or if you don't have them. Use what works for you. I am all about you using what is working for you. So right now, I usually start by grabbing some colors that I think will work well. People always want to know what colors I'm using, so I'll do my best to say them out loud as I am coloring them. So I found this. It's kind of cute. Oops. Let's see. So that's kind of a cute cake. I'm going to hold that idea in my head, and I think I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to go more of a greeny color, and we are just going to work on coloring in our page here. So I grabbed Pale Sage 1089, Sap Green Light 120, Kelly Green 1096, Light Green 920, and True Green 9. Oh boy. I'm 910, I think. You know what's so weird is that, so I've had some of these Prismacolor pencils for 20 plus years. And the disappointing thing is I recently purchased the 150 colored pack. And these, you know, the oh my gosh, words, so sorry. These, the color, the names and stuff are coming off like really fast. Like here's an example of a pencil that I probably have had for, it's probably over 20 years or something close to that, and you can see it just fine. And that is super duper annoying to me that I can't, that I'm having some come off so easily just in like what, less than a month of use. Okay, so that's one thing that's kind of disappointing about Prismacolor right now with some of their quality control. Okay, so we're going to go in. I'm going to do this a light green because why not? We're going to go all out green. And I believe in our first live, we decided that the light was kind of coming down straight, but at an angle to here, like this. And so what I'm going to do now is lightly color in with a darker color, with one of my darker colors, where I think the shade will be, or shadow rather. So I do feel like shadow will be definitely under whatever this is, some whipped cream or some other frosting. That will create a shadow, and that will create a shadow, especially if it's coming front like this. There'll be a little bit of shadow, probably right a little bit by that kitty, and then there'll be shadow in the back side of the cake, because that won't, you know, there's an edge here, so this will be in shadow if you think about it in 3D. Do I have anything that could be helpful for that? Oh, I just have a triangle thing. So if you think about it in 3D, you can kind of see it here where the light is hitting right here, and it's in shadow on this side because the light is coming from that direction. Just for an example. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please be sure and send a comment on here or whatever, however you'd like to get a hold of me. Hello, Kimberly. I'm glad you're here. Kimberly's over on Facebook, and she just says, hi there. Absolutely, Amy. I'm glad I could help you with some shadow stuff. A few videos ago, I helped Amy visualize some light and shadow things. So, like I said, we're adding some of the darker color here. I decided I was going to do this frosting, these kind of weird green colors, and this is Kelly Green 1096. I'm going to go ahead and then grab my lightest green that I want to use on this, which is Pale Sage 1089. So this last 4 days, my husband and I So right now I'm coloring definitely where light is. And that's pretty much everywhere. So I'm getting a light base layer of this color. We'll have to consider some shadow here from the cake in the front. So the last 4 days, my husband and I were vacationing over in St. Thomas, and it was a really good interruption for my brain. I'd been struggling with a lot of depression and negative thoughts because that's what my brain likes to do to me. And it was such a good interruption for me. I still like St. Croix better. St. Thomas is smaller, like 32 square miles. I think that's what he said. And St. Croix is like 82 square miles. And so it's like less than half the size of St. Croix. Oh, hi, Aunt Katie. Glad you're here. We're just coloring along because coloring is fun and is stress reducing. And, I started getting into this coloring thing because I published my own coloring book. And so I've been having a good time getting into the coloring scene. But today we're coloring in a book called Tiny Cats by a publisher, Coco Wyo. And I think that's how you say it, but I could be wrong. So if any of you are new here, basically a color along, my color alongs, we'll say what my color alongs are right now. You can choose to color the same picture from the same book, or you can color your own picture, or you can not color and just hang out and chat with me. And I'm happy to accommodate all of those things because sometimes we just need someone to hang out with, and I'm happy to be that person. Or even, I've heard some people using my voice as background noise while they do other things. That's what my best friend Misty said. Sometimes she just turns on my lives or something, whatever, and she cleans to my voice. That's what best friends are for, right? So this is my middle greenish color, and it is Sap Green Light 120. So some people like to color exactly how the person showing is coloring. And so that is why I am calling out the colors as I use them. And unfortunately, I am not a person to keep track of my colors when I am using them. I know a lot of people do that, but it's just not my thing. I can barely remember to call them out. So the things I do for you guys. Okay, I know I'm kind of ADDing over here, but I want to put in my shadows before I get carried. Over here, you see here there is a little bit of distance between the cakes here. So the shadow is not going to be, what's the word? The lines of the shadow aren't going to be super strong. So let me pull these down here. So if you can see here, the line where the shadow happens is like very, very strong. But then even if you look up here, let's pull it over, hopefully you can see better, where the top of this is shadowed, it's very blurry. So if you pull something away, the shadow becomes more blurry and more faint. Let me know if that visual is helping or not. And I know I'm using some weird words that maybe are not the technical words, but my brain is not pulling that up. So since there is some distance between these two cakes, the light is coming from this direction, we are going to make the shadow darker, closer to where the item would be. And this doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to make sure there's not really a super solid line. Like I said, like when this is, see how it's like kind of a gradient. Oh, hopefully I'm on the video. A little bit of a gradient here from dark to light. But there's no actual harsh lines. That's kind of what we're going for here. Although a harsh line, when you're doing colorings like this, you could do that too and it will work out just fine. And so I'm going to also use this color to shade in on the actual cake portion as well, because sometimes I'm too lazy to pick a different color to do things like that. And we'll have the same sort of thing. See, there's a little bit of distance. He's not touching the cake, so it's not going to be like super duper strong of a shadow line, but there's going to be shadow behind the kitty. So if you're hanging out with us here today, be sure to say hello. I am, for the first time, going live on Instagram. And yeah, that's a whole new thing for me. I've noticed people are coming in and out, which is totally fine. It takes a little while to build up a good thing. I got my regulars, Miss Amy, hanging out, and I'm kind of hungry. That's all my brain keeps thinking about at this very second. I'm hungry. So, okay, I'm going to go in a little bit more with this. We're using Kelly Green 1096 Prismacolor. I like Prismacolors, but if you don't or can't afford them, that's totally cool too. I think I might play with some colors next, but no guarantees. I'm kind of obsessed with my Prismacolors. Oh, you know what I did get today in the mail? I got some, where did I put them? Oh my goodness. Just real quick, show you. I got that Evezar London colored pencils. And my friend Angelica, she's been bragging on these pencils forever. And so I decided, I think they were about $40 or something. They seemed like they were on sale. So I went ahead and got myself a pack of them. And yeah. So I don't know if you saw, I've been playing with some Arteza pencils on another coloring page. And I think I decided they're not my favorite. And mostly because, everyone has their own preference, but I find them very difficult to blend in the same way that I can blend with my Prismacolors. And I'm not sure why they're more difficult for me, but they're not a bad pencil by any means. I don't think any pencils are super bad. It's all about what you can afford and what you can use and what your preference is. So I may end up, after I finish the coloring page that I'm doing with them, I'm going to do a giveaway, I believe. This is the True Green, and I think I'm just going to add some random bits. This may not look good later, but we'll just kind of see. Just some random bits. Might give it something interesting. I don't know. Just seemed like the right thing to do. Sometimes that's how I color. Something just feels like the thing to do. But sometimes it's the wrong thing. just letting you know. Okay, so what are we doing? I also grabbed the color right next to it, light green, 920. I'm going to do a little bit of a blend off of that with this lighter color. This may or may not turn out. I don't know. I spent so long stressing about what color to do this frosting that it's just like taking on its own sort of behavior. It's making its own decisions, I think. And I saw that inspiration image that we're using over here. It's a tiny little blue and light green cake. And I don't think you all on Instagram can see it, but because I think it went to a 9:16 ratio, and I'm filming in a landscape rather than up and down. Okay, so now that that's taken on its own personality, going to go back to the light color, methinks. Oh wait, here's my mid-range color. That's what I wanted to do actually. My mid-range, which is the sap green light 120. And I'm going to color close to the edge of where the light would kind of stop here. And then I'm going to bring this shadow up a little farther, but not too far. Sometimes I make sound effects. I don't know how this is going to go over on Instagram. I decided to purchase the monthly thing for StreamYard so I could continue to go live on multiple platforms. We'll see how that is going for a little while, but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure it's worth it yet, so I'll need more data. Need more data. Okay. Now, I think I need a little bit darker. What do I got? So I got 120 and 1096 somewhere. Yeah, 1089, 120. Do I have 1096? I think I do. Right there, 1096. I think I'm gonna grab 911, which is not this one, which should be that one, which is dark green, but is not the green I am looking for. Oh golly. So I want 911, but I don't know where it lives. Oh, here it is. Okay. We got my 911, which is olive green. And I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit. And I just wanted more dark on this edge. And actually, I want even a darker color. We're going to grab 1090, which is kelp green. Hello, hello. Oh, it just ate the lid. Sometimes that happens when I'm not paying attention, but boop, 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 boop. So we are sharpening. because I want a darker color, because right under this frosting and right under the kitty, it's going to be the darkest spot for the shadows. So that is why we're grabbing a much darker. So if you notice on the shadows of the colored pencils, it goes much darker to lighter. So where it's closer to the paper, the shadow is darker. So I'm going to do that. Because even though there's not a gap between them, there's always a little bit of shadow. And we add that in very cutely, like so. Looks like Amy is also a pick up the color that you think would work in color. Yeah. It works best for me not to really think about it. So I'm so glad to be back from our vacation. It was, I think, one of the first, if not the first time I left my cat. No, I did one. Yeah. One of the first times I left my cat by himself, and he's like 6. So we have a automatic feeder and a kitty water fountain. And I asked a friend to come check on him once a day, and she did, and everything went just fine. Thank goodness. I'm so happy to finally had this experience of leaving Benjamin, and he was just fine. He wasn't even mad at us. He was super happy to see us when we got home, and all is well. It kind of smelled weird in the house, but nothing. It just smelled stale, which these houses here often smell like that. I think it's the humidity and stuff. So that had nothing really to do with Benjamin. Annie says that she wish she could leave her dog like that, but he has separation anxiety. I don't know if I told you, but I had a dog with really bad separation anxiety, and we couldn't leave him home alone at all, period. Like, not even to go out to eat or go grocery shopping. And his name was Cooge, and he was a great dog. And it was rough. I was basically a prisoner in my own home for a few years. And it was very stressful for everybody involved, obviously. It was a relief when he passed away. Obviously sad, not saying it wasn't sad. It was obviously very sad, but a relief for him and for us that he didn't have to deal with that anxiety anymore. And I think that's why I don't want another dog. I am happy with my cat. Or my cat. I have one cat. I would have multiple if Dan would let me. Oh. So, I don't know if you noticed my new bling. I got a new ring. Dan bought it for me. And I need to get it fixed up a little bit. Size. And then tacked to my other wings, but he bought me this one too, the other band. I've been wanting that for a while, but I'm super stoked. Oops, so sorry, bunked the camera. St. Thomas was not disappointing, but a little bit overrated, I think. We went to the downtown area, and it was literally mostly jewelry shops. And I'm not usually one for getting jewelry. This was somewhat of impulse of I've been wanting the third band for a while. We've been married 13 years. I've been wanting it, since year 5, really, but year 10 seemed more reasonable. But we saw it and it was a good price, and so we decided to get it. And then we were sitting there waiting for it to get size, and the lady sold me on this one. And I liked it. I needed a new thumb ring anyway, because I've been out of a thumb ring for, since fall 2021. I had a ring that was a leaf shape, and I took it off when I was working with my bees. And for the first time, I took it off. And of course, I lost it promptly. Yeah, that's why I just don't take off my rings. And I don't know why I did it the first time ever, lost it, of course. 'Tis my life. So now we're going in with the light color, which is Pale Sage 1099. And I'm kind of trying to make decisions on how I want this to look. It actually looks pretty good. I'm not unhappy with this right now. Though, all I can think about is eating, and all I have to snack on is some crunchy stuff, and that would be very annoying for you. So now we have to think of what color we will do this frosting. Maybe that will be the cream color. That'll probably look pretty good. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Amanda's over on Facebook. I'm going live in 3 places today, testing out going live on Instagram, which is going alright-ish, and I'm going live on YouTube and Facebook. Just seeing how things work, testing the waters. And I am super glad to be back home with my cat and my art supplies. I think my favorite thing was meeting the sea lion. Yes, that was, so going to St. Thomas was a late, very late, but on purpose late, birthday thing, where Dan bought me experiences of meeting a sea lion. So I got to meet a South American sea lion. Well, actually, I got to meet 3 of them, but I got to touch 2 of them, and I got a kiss on the cheek from one of them, and it was pretty great, to be honest. That's pretty much the only reason why I wanted to go to St. Thomas was for Coral World. And while the experiences were pretty good, Coral World overall was a little bit disappointed. They really didn't have much as far as like exhibits. And I'm from Oregon, near the Oregon coast, and there's an Oregon Coast Aquarium, and it's amazing. And so, I didn't really look it up to see what it was going to be all about, so because I wanted to be a little bit surprised. So it was okay. But it was great meeting the sea lions. That was super. Amanda is now on the YouTubes. Wherever you like it best. It's fine by me. If anyone is randomly popping in, we are coloring a page from Tiny Cats by Coco Wyo. And we started this last week, and then I had to go on vacation. But it's going on until May 1st. And you are free to join in whenever. And you are free to color your own stuff, not color and just hang out. But be sure to ask lots of questions. And create conversation. Because otherwise it's just me here talking to the abyss of the internet, which is weird. Amanda says that St. Thomas was her mom's favorite trip and that she really liked the sea lion pictures. She and I are friends on Facebook, so she gets a little bit more behind the scenes look at my world. So they didn't let us take our own pictures. They took their own pictures, and I was a little bit disappointed with like the quality of the pictures. They weren't exactly crisp, and they didn't really have a reason not to be, but they were not taken by professionals or anything. So, you get what you get, and then you have to buy, what they give you so that you have that photo memory, So, there was some downsides to the whole thing, but overall, it was a decent experience. Because I'm special. But it was good. It was really good to get out of the brain funk I was in. I actually, had a doctor's appointment today, and I didn't dread it, and it was nice seeing people. It was just regular, yearly checkup type doctor's appointment, no biggie. And I felt, instead of exhausted, well, now I'm tired, but instead of exhausted, I felt a little bit rejuvenated to see some people outside my norm, and but still in my circle. As far as, people I should be seeing regularly, like my doctor or whatever, so still part of my circle, but people I don't see very often. And my doctor is relatively new to me. I've only been having her since last year. And so I'm still getting to know her, but I felt really good with her today, which is nice. Get what you get and don't throw a fit. Yeah, something like that. It just was pretty expensive, but everything is expensive over there. And so it wasn't actually like much more expensive than here, but we didn't get a real grasp on that because we didn't like go grocery shopping or anything. So it's hard to really tell. I do know the housing market is more expensive. Hello. If you're stopping in over on YouTube, be sure to, or not YouTube, Instagram, be sure to say hi. Let me know how it's going because I have never been live on Instagram before. And I know that the sad thing is that I cannot make it like work exactly the same as it does for YouTube and Facebook. And that's, I think, on Instagram really, but hello. we are coloring a page from Tiny Cats by Coco Wyo. This is a relax, chillax color along. And we just have fun and hang out. Some people color the same image, other people's don't. And they color their own thing, which all of the above is totally cool. And I'm going back with my olive green PC 911 and just seeing if there's some spots that I want to darken up again. Like maybe this line. You know, sometimes I darken it up with black. I think green will look good. What else? Oh, one of the days we were there. So we did all the things on Thursday, and then on Friday we went into downtown Charlotte Amalie, which is the main town on that island. And I need some more shadow here. So I'm going to take some chocolate 1082 and see if I can't darken it up a little bit. So we tried to do a little shopping and tried to eat at some restaurants that we heard were good, but overall it was honestly not really an experience I'd like to do again. I don't know. It was definitely overrated. Okay. Now we are done with these greens, so I'm going to put them away really quick. So that is the pistachio cake. I quite like it. It's cute. Not everyone agreed on the pistachio-ness of the cake, but that's fine. And I'm working on, this kelp cream was over here. Kind of warm right now, but it's fine. Putting away colors. So I think we're going to do that cream color suggestion for the, what did we decide? Red velvet cake. So I have a cream color, obviously. That is cream 914. But we got to think about what color would the shadows be. And oh man, that's kind of a tough call. I'm going to grab also white. And I'm going to grab my scrap piece of paper real quick and see what kind of colors we can get that might work for shade or shadow rather. So I think this light peach might work out decently for that. And for dark, I don't know. And the white. I don't really want to go more yellow with it because the cream's already a yellowy color. I don't know if you guys can even really see that very well, but so I think I'll do that. Seems good. Seems good by me. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, this is a crust, by the way. That looks like, strawberry pink icing. I don't want to do pink on pink. I don't know. But this looks like a crust. This should have been maybe, instead of a cake, it should have been a pie. But I did a cake. So, So like maybe like a crust, like all I can think about is graham cracker crust. So I don't know, it's a strawberry cake pie thing. So that's the nice thing about coloring your own things. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to go in with my cream. And do a layer of the cream color. Then we'll just pretend that you can do like a creamy custard in the center. And I don't think we're going to do much with that here because it's getting a lot of blend over from the red. From me being messy, which is fine. And doing light layers, if you change your mind about something, you can usually point it to a different idea. So kind of a crust. I'm going to go in very lightly with this pumpkin orange 1032. And just color this kind of browny pumpkin orange, I guess. Benjamin? He just brought me his owl, but he left it. Hi. What's up? Did you guys hear him? Yeah? What you doing? I gave him some catnip earlier. He was kitty high for like a half hour. It was great. Okay, maybe Amanda's right. Maybe this does need to be like a pinker color. But I don't want it to be like strawberry pink because I want the strawberries to pop out. So maybe golly. Maybe more like a peachy pink color. What color is this? Mahogany. Too dark. Too dark. Just testing random colors. I like nectar. But we also want, okay, I'm gonna grab rose, I think, and blushy pink. We're gonna make this work over here. It's just gonna be fine. So I'm gonna grab this nectar, which is 1092. And remember how we did the close shadow earlier. I'm going to do that again. But I might grab a little bit darker color here. I'm going to do a little bit of this in here. Give it something. A little something. Okay, I do want that mahogany color. I'm going to sharpen this up good. So this real dark. Well, not, you know, dark enough. Because there's always a little tiny bit of shadow here. Right. Now, going to go in with the rose and do a very light layer here, and we'll build it up. I don't want it to be super bright. I want it to be like, you know, a food that still looks edible, I guess. Okay, so the layer with rose, and we're going to go ahead grab the blush pink and do that sort of forward and kind of randomly. I can hear my husband talking. And I do want to go ahead and put a little bit of peach in this. Then I think we'll add some more pink color to it. But like a different pink, not like bright ass pink. Sorry, I curse sometimes. Okay. I can't wait to see how it turns out too. Because I did not really think ahead about it, to be honest. Oh, okay, so we got this Deco Peach. Seems like a good pink. So I'm going to go ahead do this color. I'm kind of trying to blend with that dark shade we did. Oh, I have to think about dinner. What are you guys going to make for dinner? I just feel like Dan's not going to think about it, so somebody has to. And I'm hungry already. Okay. Not like huge in love with it. Oh yeah, I did grab the white. Okay, I'm gonna go see if adding this cream back does anything interesting. It looks kind of like a custard. Well, now that I look at this, and now we have seen that it should be a pie thing rather than a cake thing, it looks kind of funny, but it's whatever. It'll look cute when we're done. White. Okay, so just some white, just to kind of give it some highlight, I think. Then use white to blend out this a little bit. The little custard filling. Then we did this crust. And I'm going to go ahead and just put some of this nectar color because it was sitting there and I decided it would work here. Kind of give it some more words. definition maybe was the word I was thinking. Okay, and then I want to take maybe a little bit of goldenrod, 1034, a sort of cooked color. You'd eat it. Hamburgers with gravy, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Hamburgers sound great. I had a lot of hamburgers though this last weekend. So I'm gonna have to not do hamburgers probably. Although the last hamburger I had was disappointing. Like every other burger, you know, cheeseburgers in Paradise at Margaritaville, obviously. I had to have some cheeseburgers. The last one kind of sucked. Now, I want, gosh, what do I want here? I want, yes, burnt ochre, I think. Then I'm going to go in with like a lighter brown color and do some blending. Methinks. Okay. And for that, what do I want to use? Not that. That might work. Not that. Let's see what beige. Beige. I'm gonna go for beige. Beige for some blending. Okay. Go ahead. I'm kind of doing like a circular motion for this blending, hoping it leaves a little bit of texture and doesn't completely blend the colors together. And I just got really warm. Okay, see you later, Amanda. Don't mind my fanning myself. There we go. Now, it looks pretty good. So I decided that's like a whipped cream, right? Yeah, seems right. So grab some colors that might work for whipped cream, even though whipped cream is pretty white, but I think like if you use cream is a little bit on the off-white side, so we're gonna go with that. We're gonna run with that. So I'm gonna put in some shadow on the whipped cream, and that goes behind these little ridges. if I can decide which are ridges and which are not. And then on the back end, let's give it some color here. Okay. I'm gonna put this on mute because I gotta eat a couple more of my veggie straws because I'm really hungry. So just hold on. Oh golly. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that. I was like dying. I needed to put a little bit of something in my stomach because of hungry hurting. Okay. Now, do we want eggshell or do we want cream? I still have a couple veggie straws left. So I might pause again. Ooh, eggshell's very dark. Okay, so we're gonna not do eggshell. I'm gonna go ahead and take the cream and do a light layer. Like so. Hopefully everyone can see here. Light layer. Try to do a little blending here. Then we'll take the white. Really work on that. Then we'll do the strawberries, which I'm really excited to do. Okay. Okay, now we'll take the white. Hello, hello. Be sure to say hello. We are coloring in a book by Coco Wyo. It's called Tiny Cats. And I'm going to take my white now and we're going to blend out a little bit. See what we can do here. I'm not sure how well you can see these light colors on the camera. So our flight to and from St. Thomas, we ended up in the smallest planes I've ever personally seen up close. Right? They were like 8-seaters, and I'm not even joking. Maybe 12. I'm pretty sure 8. Because there really wasn't very many people. And guess where I had to sit? In the co-pilot seat, so right behind all the controls. And I'm like, I'm really not the right person for this because it's a very tiny space and I'm not a very tiny person. Like, if I lost a lot of weight, I'd be a tiny person, but I need to lose weight, so I'm not a tiny person. And so I like try to fold myself up as small as I could. It was, oh my gosh, it was kind of like, it was a cool seat overall, like, because you're right there by the window and so you can see all the things, but like it was very uncomfortable to be like up front there and with the pilot, and it's like, what's my responsibility here? And he said that he's like, the fire extinguisher is under the co-pilot seat. And I was like, great, I can't even, there's not enough room, I can't even bend over to like grab whatever would be under my seat. And it was crazy. The company is called Cape Air, and I don't think it is around the world or anything. It might be just a Caribbean island hopping flight thing. But the other thing was, we didn't have to go through any sort of checks for our baggage. Now that was the craziest thing. Like, oh my goodness. So we went and we were expecting to have to for them to have to look in our bags and stuff, because I don't know, that's what we expected, because that's how of our flights mostly were in our lives, flying to like Korea and stuff. Like, yeah. And so they didn't do that. They didn't even they weighed our bags, and that's it. And then the gates were just like right there. So like, I don't know. I can't even explain it because it was like so different than I've ever experienced, to be honest. Like, it was just not something I was expecting, and I was kind of blown away. It was crazy. I don't know. So on the way there and on the way back, I was the person who was in the co-pilot seat. And on the way back, the kid who was like helping us load and everything, he points out to some ladies, and they're like, oh, me, because we were starting to load, and he was like, no, not you, and he kept pointing, and they separated, and he was pointing at me, and so I like hung my head. It like squeezed into the front seat, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And I don't know, it just felt like really, I don't know, weird. So I'm looking now up a picture of strawberries so we can color them. So here we go. Hopefully it'll pop up. I don't think people on Instagram can see my inspiration images. Hold on. There we go. Oh. Here we go. There we go. And so I'd like to look up the inspiration images for color choices and all that goodness. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So we have strawberries. Hopefully it's showing. Is it showing? Oh, good. Okay, great. So if you look at them, you can see how I'm a little bit confused on what's showing to you right now. Okay, good. Okay, we're fine. We're good. We're good. So if you look at the strawberries, you can see how they're kind of like darker to a little bit lighter, and then for these bits, we'll look up the inside of the strawberries to get a good judge of what color they are. But these are very nice, deep red colors. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. That's not as red as I want, to be honest. That seems a little bit more brighter. Okay, we're looking for a red. Let's see, that's a little more pink. So I want the ends of the strawberries this color. So this is permanent red, which to me seems more orange, to be honest. And this is the Scarlet Lake, and this is a crimson red. And then we have Crimson Lake, which I like to use for shadows. So what we're gonna do here for the strawberries is we're going to take the brightest red, which is the permanent red. And if you look at our inspiration image, the brightest red seems to be like mid-strawberry. Like mid-strawberry. So that's where we are going to put, and we're going to avoid these, right? The seeds. So we're going to do a light layer of this permanent red, which is 122. Mid-strawberry. And we'll bring it all the way down to the strawberry base or top, closest to where the green bit would be. Because we can add dark. It'll be a little easier, or it'll look good. Hopefully everyone can see everything. Yeah. Okay. Good. And if you accidentally get into the seeds, it is what it is. We'll work on fixing it later. Okay, then we're going to go as light as we can for a good gradient into the lighter red color. Oh, you know what I didn't really think about either was a reflection of white. We could add that later. I'll show you. Because strawberries are shiny, right? Okay, so do that with all of them. Oh, strawberries sound good. I'm guessing all of these ends are the bigger ends and not the pointy end. Well, actually, these look like funny shaped strawberries. Like those ones that are wider and like, yeah. That's what it looks like to me. So we're going to work on these strawberries, and then we'll probably call it for today. It'll be a good stopping point at that point. And we'll be done with the cakes, which is pretty exciting. This looks like an N, doesn't it? Nope, they did the seeds all going that way. If we look, let's see. I'm not leaving yet. I just said when we're done with the strawberries. I'm zooming in. So I'm looking at the strawberry seeds. And you know what's funny is the pointed ends of the seeds face down towards the bottom of the strawberry, not up towards where the green would be. That's interesting. So they definitely drew these backwards, which is fine because you kind of just do what you're going to do when you're drawing. But this to me looks like the bottom of this particular strawberry. So I'm going to say that's the bottom. And so we're going to do this one, the darker top on this side. And I actually feel that way about this one as well. So we'll leave the end bit for the light red color. You can post, if you're just popping in, if you're new here, we're coloring a page by Coco Wyo in their book Tiny Cats. And we started a color along, and we're not far in the color along at all. You can join in anytime. You can just hang out and chat or whatever. But I also have a Facebook group, and I don't feel like sharing a bunch of links today, but if you search for Friends of AdrienneSmith.Artist, that AdrienneSmith.Artist is all one word, should come up if you want to join the group. And that is where you could post what you've done during our color along. And so right now, we're coloring strawberries. And we're done coloring the strawberries, which we still have we have a ways to go. So no rush or anything. We'll end the color along for today. I tried to go live for the color alongs. And so I've only been coloring when I go live for the color along page. So you guys can hang out or chat or whatever, or try to do what I'm doing, which is just fine. Or tell me I'm doing a terrible job, whatever. I don't think I am. But I definitely try not to go over the 2-hour mark when we're going live. Just double checking, making sure there's nothing on Instagram. So we took this permanent red PC122, and we're kind of doing most of the strawberry this color. This is our red, mostly base color of a strawberry, I feel. And we're going to take this carmine red 926. And this is going to be the little, my hand's sweaty, I can't turn it. The little end bit, because it's old wood, look at that. The end bit of the strawberries. So you can kind of see how they go from darker to lighter. Some of it is lighting and some of it is just how strawberries are. So that's what I decided to do. So it's a little bit more of a pink color. In the end, we may or may not be able to tell there's a color difference, but we'll find out, I guess. So if you're hanging out with me here, just curious if you have any suggestions on what I can do better for the color alongs. I know that I had a break during this particular one, but that was our first vacation in a really long time. So, you know, things happen. And I'm struggling with more participation, which I know people have lives. And thankfully, Amy is here to keep me company. But I'd love some more friends to join us for some non-judgmental, safe coloring space. Looking good, looking good. Might have to grab like a lighter, I don't know, lighter pink color. Something. I don't know. I'm still thinking. All I can actually think about right now is that I'm hungry. It's no good. You know, I've been working on losing some weight and I was counting calories, and then I totally did not count calories on vacation, and I gained back a couple pounds, which is a little sad, but I just have to reorient myself for that. Okay, and so this is the Crimson Lake, which I like to use for shadows for red. So we'll take, broken. Happens sometimes. I guess I've been kind of hard. Switch to it. So if you're new here, this is my secret weapon of my pencil shavings trash. And I quite like it. It works well for me. It's over halfway full, which is crazy. I don't feel like I have colored that much, but whatever. Oof, duh. This is not good. Not good at all. We're breaking. Okay, we'll try the trick of just turning the sharpener, which is honestly a pain in the butt. It's working. Okay. Almost. Oh, I'm impatient. Okay, I'm turning this. I can't do it. Okay, there we go. So this is for shadows, and if we look close at our inspiration image here, we can see that there's shadow around. Some of the strawberry seeds are dark red. Some of them are kind of yellow. So that's interesting. And they all are a little bit indented. So that's something to notice, I think. So we're going to go ahead And for indent, it's going to have a little bit of dark on this side. And then since the seed is, 3D, it'll have a little bit dark right by the seed. So imagine there's like a circle here and the light coming. It won't exactly get right there, but it will get on this side. But not right under. See, I have to sharpen this more. Oh, not that one. It's got a bit in there. Careful, careful sharpening. Hello, hello. Be sure to say hi when you're stopping in. So, we're working on the strawberries. And sometimes I like to get technical. Well, most of the time I do get technical with my drawings and colorings and think about it as more of a sort of real life image, if that makes any sense. And then so I try to color them like things look in real life. And not everybody does that, and that is just fine. It's actually something I wish I didn't really do all the time, but it's just like my brain is very literal. It's not super imaginative, and so I often just color what it looks like in real life, or what it could look like in real life. Okay, so I'm just giving myself a little bit of a reference for the circles for our little indents, what holds the little strawberry seed, so I can remember. And that does not mean I will remember, but as a remember attempt. Okay, so oh man, in Oregon they grew a lot of berries. Strawberries are one of the best. Strawberries here are very expensive. It's kind of scary how expensive. One time I saw, when we first got here, it was still a little bit pandemic-y, and things were kind of expensive. Like some prices have gone down now, which is good. But I saw like a pound, not even a pound of strawberries, like whatever strawberries usually come in the small containers. Quart? I don't know. Anyway. It was strawberries on the vine, although it was like $16. I was like, oh my goodness. It was crazy. Excuse me. So sorry. Getting closer. I'm getting tired. So we're working on the strawberries. Hopefully I can get them done in the next half hour. That is my intention. So what did you guys do this weekend? Would love to know. Sorry, my hand. Gotta stretch it a little bit. Little strawberry indents. Strawberry seed indents. And to sharpen this even more, to do that back end shadow right under the seed. So I've been working, I haven't worked on, the cat coloring book. You've cleaned out your filing cabinet. Oh, it's always a pain when you gotta do that. I haven't been able to work on the kitty coloring book yet. I thought I was going to have time when we were in St. Thomas because I thought Dan was going to go on a scuba dive, but he ended up not being able to, and so I didn't get that time. But also, one of the days, Saturday, I slept most of the day. Yep, took 2-hour naps on that day. Was a little bit worried for myself, but I was so tired from the last few days. We walked. The first day we walked over 15,000 steps. And then the second day we walked over 12,000 steps. And so I was tired. To say the least. That was the most steps I've walked in a real long time. Okay, so did we decide that was the end? Yeah. I'll do this darker. I'll do this darker. This should be super ripe strawberry. Okay, so let's go with our, this is our light. Let's go with our mid red Scarlet Lake. I'm gonna kind of just create a gradient with from where the dark red goes. Ooh, I already forgot about my circles I made. It's fine, whatever. Just keep trying to remember. I knew I would forget. There. That's looking all right. Excuse me. Okay. Strawberries. I get a lot of people popping in and out over on Instagram, but apparently it's a little too boring for them, which is fine. Been thinking about who my target audience is for this, and I think it's more Facebook people than anyone else. For coloring, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Target markets for my coloring book. Oh, you know what? So Dan gets all excited about my coloring book. And if you don't know, if you're new here, I published a coloring book called Caribbean Sea Life in February. And so I've been, trying to get it out there, but with, to be honest, minimal effort because I am embarrassed for some reason to talk to people about it. But Dan is so excited. He is so supportive, and it's kind of overwhelming, but it's good because I may not talk about it to anybody if he didn't talk about it first. I'm super lucky that he is as supportive as he is. And so we're going and we get to Margaritaville and we're checking in and all that stuff, and we have this dude and he's telling us about events and stuff, and he was asking us like why we're there, and I was like, it's a late birthday thing and all that good stuff. Let's see. Is this what I want? Do I want? Oh, that's nice. This is Tuscan red, and this is one of my older ones, obviously, which is why it's so tiny. 937. And then he goes, oh, and celebrating that my wife published a coloring book, and the kid, he was nice, his name was Ray. He was like, oh, really? And Dan pulls it out and shows him. He's like, can I buy it from you? Oh my God. Why am I embarrassed? I don't know. I can't tell you. I honestly, I don't know why I'm embarrassed. I have a product. It's pretty cool, but I'm embarrassed. Ask my ADHD or I don't know, whatever my freaking problem is. Honestly, I have no idea. Really don't. I'm looking for a better light red color that's not really pink, but pink might work. Or peach. I think salmon pink? That might work. Ooh, a little bit orange. We'll see. I wanted to put it on the end here to make it look, oh, actually, that works good. Okay. Anyway, so then he buys it from me, and I was like, oh, man, because Dan told me that I had to bring at least 2 copies of my book, for promotional purposes, is what he said. And, yeah, so I did, and then, that happened. I don't know, it was just kind of crazy. I was like, are you serious? You want to buy my thing? Like, why? I don't know. My brain just doesn't work like everybody else's, I think. So it just doesn't, I don't know. I did. Did I tell you guys? Well, I think I did, because I think we did it last weekend. I went and talked to the art center about stocking my book in their gift shop, and talked about how their commission system worked. And so I think that's really going to be one of the first places I work on. They do 40%. So they get 40% of the commission, and I get 60. but that's a great place because that is on the side of the island that the brain, come on, that the cruise ships go on. So hopefully, I plan to talk to the other. I know there's at least one more commission shop, gift shop on that little strip, and so I want to talk to them. So it feels a little bit less daunting than working out wholesale stuff. I don't know. I like this. This is working good. This is great. Okay. Hi, Amanda. Welcome back. Works great. What works great? But your husband helps you too. Oh yeah. It's good I have them because I'd make all these things and then they just sit there and do nothing. Cause me, I'm fine. Like I feel done when I'm done with the product. So I felt done doing what I needed to do when I finished the coloring book. But it's not done because the coloring book will just sit there doing nothing and no one will buy it if you don't talk about it, if you don't share about it. Oy. And obviously, that's what nobody wants that. You made it to share with other people. But Dan was good all weekend. He was very good. He's kind of like a host guy. He got me all kinds of goodies, my new jewelries, and he was super sweet. It's a good time. He's a good guy. And then, so I guess the Margaritaville is part of Wyndham Resorts or something, or like some sort of timeshare vacation club thing. And we were invited to go to like one of their sales pitch meetings, because we would get some free vacation or whatever if we went. And so we're like, okay, sure, we'll go. And then on Sunday when we went, they're like, where is your credit card? And we're like, well, we don't have a credit card. And they're like, it's our policy. You have to have a credit card in order to listen to our sales pitch. And we're like, okay, well, we don't have a credit card. So what now? And they're like, well, you can't play, basically. You don't get to play with us. We're like, well, we have the finances to do this. We just don't have it on a credit card. And they're like, nope, not good enough. So that was kind of funny. So our Sunday plans kind of got a little bit screwed up because of that. If we knew that we weren't going to go to that thing, we probably would have moved our flight up because we were ready to leave. Because we're homebodies, we were ready to go home, hang out with our cat. I like my strawberries. They're looking great. So it was just kind of funny. So they wanted only people with credit cards. It's much harder. It's much easier to part with money that isn't yours, apparently. So they only want people who think that way. We're like, but you don't want real money. Okay, fine. Sounds like this isn't the place for us anyway. But we had a good time. It was interesting. It was resorty, but it was not like all-inclusive type resort, which we've done one time, which was kind of cool. I don't really even know. So there was a restaurant on the property and then some bars. I thought they would have more than one restaurant, but no, they didn't. And they had a couple pools. And then, there was like a coffee shop and a gift shop. I'm putting in with this salmon pink 1001 where I want these lighter bits to be on the strawberries, because I keep forgetting that I wanted these lighter bits. So I'm trying to fix that, but it's going. It's just going. It's not bad, not good. We'll see how it works. And anyway, for the price, I thought we were getting more, I guess. Like, it wasn't bad. I guess everything's more expensive, so I don't really have like a real comprehension of like how much things like that cost now. But the bed was really hard. Like, I woke up in pain every day because the bed was so hard. And then the pillows were hard. And the first day, our showers was not warm. It was actually kind of on the cold side. And so they fixed that, though. Thank goodness. But that was weird. I don't know. Maybe someone complained that it was like too hot, so they made it colder, and I don't know. Who knows? Who's the whole thing? Oh, I forgot this one. And I forgot this guy. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to finish this in time. I don't think I have a lot of plans this week, so I might be able to go live more. Okay, so what we did was use this Carmine Red 926. We put that on the end bit. A little bit down so we have enough to blend. Then we took our mid red, which what did we decide was our permanent red, our red is red. And we put that, a layer of that throughout the whole strawberry. Hello, hello. It looks like we have 4 people in here right now. Be sure to say hello if you are hanging out. Let me know what you're up to. Are you coloring along with us in the Tiny Cats book? Or are you coloring your own thing? Or are you just hanging out and using me as background noise? Because that's totally acceptable as well. Take my little, so these, I like these, they're so cute. These are just little blush brushes or makeup brushes that I got on Amazon, and I thought the rose gold was super cute, and so got that to brush away all my little dusts from the colored pencils, which seems to be helping my whole, dragging through, so we're not getting as much smudging. But I'm also trying to be a little bit more conscious of what's going on my paper. Okay, so then we took our more darker red, the crimson light question mark, and strawberries are usually darker by the stem side. Darker is riper in the strawberry world. Did you know strawberries don't continue to ripen when they're pulled off? They just rot. Which kind of sucks. Oh, here in the humidity, fruit and stuff goes bad so fast. Oh my gosh. Like, we had to store everything in the fridge. Okay, so if we remember, the light is coming this way. Our little indents for the seeds have a little bit of a dark side this way. And we'll use Crimson Lake, or no, what is it? Tuscan Red for some more dark in this little dark area. Hi, Michelle. You're playing with your Inktense pencils while watching and listening. Thank you. She loves the strawberry cake. Good to have you here, Michelle. Are you new to my color alongs? Well, this is, my color alongs are new in general. This is only the second one. And it's going on until at least May 1st with a likely possibility of extension because I was gone for 4 days we just got back yesterday. Well, I'm glad you're here, Michelle. Thanks for coming in. I've been creative my whole life, so I've worked with colored pencils and stuff a lot. But it's not the only thing I do, so if you ever have any questions, just let me know. I haven't used Inktense pencils, so I hope you really like them. I'm mostly a color pencil person, and I did a lot of watercolors. So I'm taking the Tuscan Red, and I'm going to darken up these bits that are in the darker part of the strawberry. I'm going to do that up here too. I think with my next color along page, I'll work with colors, but no promises. It will depend on how I feel, if my wrist is hurting or not, because the Prismacolor pencils are really easy on my wrist because the lead is so soft. Come on now. Michelle says she does. She got the new colors too. So you have the full set. It's the first time you're playing with the new colors. Excellent. It's awesome. I love playing with new toys. I did get today the Evazar. Oh gosh, where did I put them now? Yeah, Evazar colored pencils. A friend said they liked them a lot, and so I had to try. And so I'll work on swatching those and get a general feel for them before I make too many comments on them. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Okay. So now I want to go back to my reddish red. My permanent red. Yes, I do have the Prismas. Unless you're asking someone else. Reddest red. Oof. Yes. Oh yeah, we did the light part of the little seed indents with this salmon pink 1001. I think that looked pretty good on the other ones. I'm pressing hard to really keep that lightness. I hope that's the goal. A lot of my drawing and coloring is to do and hope for the best. So, oh yeah, and we added some of this same pink to the tips of the strawberries there to give it that light color. Okay. So I think while I like this reddest red, I don't think it's going to be right for every single strawberry on this page because we don't want them exactly uniform because nothing is, right? So on some of them, I'll go to my next darker red or the darker red after that and see if we can get a little bit of variation. Ugh, I'm going to definitely run out of time. I don't know. Michelle said that she has Inktense. I believe that's a Derwent brand, but I don't know what other kind she has. She didn't talk about them. We definitely got to finish at least one strawberry, right? Before we hang up our hats today. I wonder where I put my white gel pen. White gel pens, I think, are, or even white acrylic paint pens, are a must. Am I supposed to keep going in the dark section until the paper takes no more pigment? Like here? I think that really just depends on your preference. Like I like to do a lot of layers. I often color until there's no real white showing. I believe they call that burnishing. And why I do that is I think like this, we kept it to where there's the white speckle still. I don't know if you can tell. We kept it so there's still a little bit of white in it because I felt like it looked more like cake. But I keep staring at it and I'm like, it feels unfinished. And so I typically go and burnish until there's no more white showing. And honestly, it's personal preference. So you could go and if that's what I think that's what you mean by no more, then sure. But really, I do feel it's personal preference. I'm going and adding a little bit more shadow on the side because actually I kind of forgot about shadow on that. And then I forgot about shadow on here too. And I want to, I'm taking that next darker red, Scarlet Lake 923. I'm going ahead and decided I wanted to add that in there too. Okay, yeah, you agree that these dots showing feels unfinished. Although I see, I see excellent pages where it's all colored kind of like that softly without going all the way on the burnishing. And it looks good. It's just I think it's just not something I do personally, I guess. A lot of coloring and art, really mostly there's no like right way and there's no real wrong way. It's just whatever way works best for you or what feels good to you. And I notice here sometimes you can go ahead and I colored over where we put the peach before, and so it made it darker. Sometimes you can go over with that color again, and it will essentially, I believe what it's doing is scratching off a layer of color. So I don't think it's really adding necessarily. But sometimes they do. Like I notice with dark colors, if I were, let's see, grab the Tuscan red, go here, sometimes dark colors will still come off onto, even if you've burnished it. And sometimes white works that way too. But it just depends. It's not always successful. And sometimes, like, especially in coloring, it's like you try these things and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And you just have to accept that you messed up. I mess up quite a lot. And I just try to fix it sometimes. Sometimes I just leave it. And so, is that a finished strawberry? What do we think? Feel yes and no. So I'm going to take this. I feel like there's not enough dark, maybe. And this is not really releasing any pigment onto this red that I've already put down. Maybe just a tiny, tiny bit. But not a whole lot. And I want to make some of my little things smaller here. My little indents. Just a little bit on the gaudy big side. And I don't want to do the green right now, but I do want to find my white gel pen, but that may be a lost cause. Oh, here's one. Let's see if it actually works still because it's been sitting. I'm sorry. All right. Sometimes they don't like to agree with you. Okay. So this is one of my favorite white gel pens, the Uniball Signal. So we look at our inspiration image here and notice how the highlights of the strawberry kind of go around the indents. And so we're going to look at this and we're going to remember that we decided the light was coming from top down, but kind of diagonal. So if it comes off, if it comes out, come on. Okay, we're going to have to use the acrylic pen. Oy, not what I wanted to do. Because I also have to find a way. Okay. So I just took and emptied some of the acrylic paint onto a spare piece of paper. Now we gotta find a way to apply. This may be kind of weird, but I grabbed this pencil because I didn't want a very big amount. Okay, so we look at our inspiration image and we place our highlights. And this paint pen is a Posca brand. Uni Posca is the brand. And it's just the white. And they have various sizes. And, you know, there's other paint pens that are cheaper. And I'm sure those work fine as well. So I'm going to also add some highlight to the side of the strawberry. And I'm just using this mechanical mechanical pencil as a brush. We're accidentally gone through the paper here. And I'm not even really touching the pencil to the paper. But I am allowing kind of the paint drip off is the wrong word. But it's kind of where I'm going with it. There. So I'm going to go ahead and call this strawberry, except for I'm doing the green part next time. It would be green right there. I'm going to call this strawberry done. I'm going to give it some other random highlights here. Okay, so now that I've dripped this paint everywhere, oh, you know what I do have? I'll clean that up before I go anywhere. I do have some Clorox wipes. Yay! Oh my gosh, I almost got it on my Prismacolor swatch chart. I would have been so, see that? So close. But, okay, not that, this. So, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me here today. And I know we didn't get things as finished as I would have liked to today. But I did just get back from vacation. So, maybe my brain is a little bit slower. But I think going longer than 2 hours is a mistake. But my laptop's gonna die soon, and all that good stuff. So here is what we ended up with today, and next time we will work on continuing to finish the strawberries. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks again Bye.